The scene shifts back to headquarters, where chaos erupted as everyone panicked over the outcome of the battle. In a desperate final move, Dang chose to self-detonate, hoping to take the enemy down with him. The commander, clearly distraught, watched one of his elite mutants make such a sacrifice. He had sent a team of his strongest mutants on this mission, yet all of them were annihilated at the hands of the enemy. Furious, he ordered Lan Xing to immediately call back the remaining mutants from the battlefield. Observing the commander's erratic behavior, Zhu Yong quickly deduced what he might be planning, but given the tension in the room, he chose to remain silent. Overwhelmed by anger, the commander stood up and bellowed, demanding that the ultimate weapon be prepared. His intent was clear: Ningjin City would be leveled to the ground. As soon as the order was issued, Lan Xing rushed to the controls, preparing the weapon for launch. Meanwhile, back on the battlefield, Fangang was slowly rising from the rubble. Despite being blown to pieces by Dang, Takashi Mayumi's powers had kept him alive. As he regained his footing, Fangang declared his victory, mocking Dang by proclaiming that his sacrifice was meaningless since he still stood. With his victory secured, Fangang prepared to leave. However, he reminded himself that the mutants from Blizzard City were far more dangerous than he had anticipated. Next time, he would need to take extra precautions. The perspective shifts again, this time to Takashi Mayumi, who was coughing up blood from overexerting herself while reviving Fangang. Concerned for her condition, Shishmanoi urged her to rest, emphasizing that losing her in this battle was not an option. As he spoke, he noticed that her bleeding had not stopped, and fearing that her condition would deteriorate further, he decided to take her away from the battlefield to tend to her injuries. As they prepared to leave, Takachi revealed through strained words that she had foreseen a great danger approaching. She insisted they evacuate everyone from the city immediately, or they would all be wiped out. Grasping the gravity of her vision, Shishmanoi agreed, urging her to find a vehicle without delay. Before long, the two of them were seen driving toward Fangang, intent on warning him about the impending threat. Shishmanoi told Fangang to get in the car, explaining the vision Takachi had shared. Realizing the enemy was planning to deploy a weapon of mass destruction to obliterate the city, Fangang urged them to leave immediately. As the car sped away, Fangang glanced at Takachi and noted her critical condition. He knew they needed to find a safe place to treat her injuries, as her survival was crucial to their efforts. Lost in thought, Fangang suddenly spotted something outside the car. Zhang Yi and the remaining members of his team were retreating from the city. Watching them leave, Fangang felt certain their paths would cross again. Snapping out of his thoughts, Fangang was questioned by a mutant in the back seat, who asked whether they would continue with their plan despite the heavy losses suffered during the battle. Many mutants were dead, and those who survived were too injured to fight. After a brief pause, Fangang assured them they would take a break for the time being. With a confident smirk, he told the group they should be proud of their success, as they had single-handedly defeated a powerful faction. He then hinted that next time, he had an even bigger surprise in store for their enemies. His words sparked frustration in one of the mutants, who lashed out, reminding him that they had barely survived this encounter and lost many comrades in the process. They couldn't afford to face such an enemy alone again. Remaining calm, Fangang explained that driving back the Blizzard City mutants and forcing their retreat was a significant achievement. He questioned what other factions would think upon learning of this feat, suggesting that their victory might inspire others to join them in their fight against Blizzard City.